Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. So I said I wasn't going to make another part of the Energy Assault update. I was just going to let it come out on the 10th. But we did just get another leak today, so I wanted to share that leak with you guys. So this is something that we saw yesterday on the Discord Typical Games server. It said, guess what three guns are going to be coming to the update on the 10th. And everybody knows that this top left one is the ACR that was already released. If you don't know what the ACR is, there is a link to a video in the description that kind of showcases it and makes it look really cool. I suggest you check that out. There's also a link by the same channel for this gun, which I'll show you in a minute. So originally, everybody knew this was the ACR. I thought this was some sort of revolver. I was thinking 357 Magnum because it really looked like a 357 Magnum, except for the nose was different, a little bit different, and as well as the stock, it was a little bit different. I was like, I'm not sure why they would add a Magnum when there was already a Magnum in the game. There's already the 44 Magnum. So I'll go a little bit into what that is. And then I had no idea what this was. I was finding a gun maker's Vistava that had this kind of hook on the end, but I couldn't quite figure out what it was. I think the closest that I got was to an anti-material rifle, which if they had anti-material weapons to the gun, the game is over. But the thing is, I didn't find these three guns really interesting. What I found interesting was this text on the side. So there's industrial submarket and there's pseudo-terrestrial on the side here. I don't know what that means. That could be a leak to a map. Pseudo-terrestrial meaning somewhat Earth-like, and then industrial submarket. I wonder if that's a leak to a map, but there's no way to tell until the update comes out. So I'll just take you real through. So we found out what these guns are today. They came out with what these guns are today, and those are obviously the ACR, but then the 200 Magnum Smith & Wesson model. I looked up videos. I tried to find out what the 200 Magnum is. I cannot find the 200 Magnum. I found a 500 Magnum. It blew a bowling ball apart on YouTube. It was pretty cool. But I could not find a 200 Magnum. So if you happen to find a link to a 200 Magnum that I wasn't able to find, let me know. I'm sure it's just like a revolver, like the 44 Magnum is. No idea what the stats on these guns are going to be. The M1941 or 1941 Johnson is pretty decent. It's a almost like a tactical, not really assault rifle, but a battle rifle. I think this is what they were talking about when they said they were coming out with the DMR, because I did see the video on ACR. It does look semi-automatic. I mean, I've never shot any of these guns before, or most guns. I think I've shot a BB gun before, but the ACR looks semi-automatic, so I don't know if it's going to be one of those ones where you press V and you change the fire rate, but it looks pretty cool. The M1941 Johnson, that one looks semi-automatic. I don't know if it had this hook on there before. I think that's a stand. If there's a stand, if you can put this up on a stand and balance your aim, that'd be really, really nifty. You're just sniping. So if it comes with a sniper scope, that'd be great. Anyway, so there were a bunch of nerfs and buffs that were released too. There's also in the nerfs and buffs list, hip spread, aim spread, walk speed, that sort of thing. Things that aren't in this typical list you see when you click on the gun. I think it would be really, really interesting if they were to add all of the stats of the guns to this. And I think they might, because there is the class system in the description, so they might be expanding on this stats system. But starting right off the bat, there's the RFB that got buffed. So first off, all of the battle guns have been buffed in some way or another. I'm just going to pull out the list here. So all of the Battle Pass guns were buffed. All snipers, excluding the M82 and Dragunov, have an increased fire rate. and due to the new animations, the sniper reload times have all been increased slightly, but not for the M82. So damage on the RFB has gone up to 40. Hip spread has gone down from 0.02 to 0.015, which is a buff, and the fire rate has gone from 400 to 450. So, yeah, time to grind the RFB after the update. I know Kawaii Queen just got her RFB diamond, and it was like one of the hardest guns she's gotten diamond yet. So she's kind of a bit pissed about that. Striker. The spread has gone down from 0.07 to 0.033. I'm not sure. We'll get to AA12 in a minute. I'm not sure what the AA12 spread is for comparison, but basically less spread means more damage done to the enemy if they're closer. Fire rate has gone down, which is a nerf, from 260 to 180. I think it already shoots slow as it is. A fire rate of 180, I don't want to grind the striker now. But the damage did go up from 15. Let's see, this damage is 105. I'm not sure what that means by damage 15 to 17. That doesn't seem right. If it's 105 to 107, maybe, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure out what that means. The Groza. The Groza spread this has a whole lot of stats. So Groza spread went down from 0.018 to 0.015, meaning there's going to be when it's shooting, it's going to be more accurate. The aim spread also went down from 0.008 to 0.005. The reload animation. So that was something that I've talked about before in my tier list. The Groza is really good when you don't have to reload. Especially when you don't have to reload on an empty mag. If you reload on an empty mag, it takes longer to reload than reloading on a semi-empty mag. So the reload animation 3, I'm guessing that means full empty. So that has gone down from 0.15 seconds or 0.15 to 0.1. So slightly less reload time. Bullet speed has gone up from 720 to 750. Now, bullet speed is different from fire rate, because as you can see, fire rate is already 750. Bullet speed is muzzle velocity, how fast the bullet travels through the air to reach the target. So this is really, really good. For instance, when they buffed the intervention just recently, they changed the bullet speed, not necessarily the fire rate, but the bullet speed. So now the bullet takes less time to reach your target. Before the intervention, when you would fire the weapon at somebody, they could basically run at you and knife you in the face before you were able to fire another shot. Before the bullet even reached where they were, just because the intervention sucked, but now it's better. So I might try grinding the intervention once I'm better at sniping. But bullet speed has gone up from 720 to 750. Bison, the bullet speed has gone up from 400 to 500. See, as you can see, fire rate is 700, not 400. Bullet speed has gone up from 400 to 500, meaning you don't have to lead your shots as much, which is good. I hate leading shots. Recoil has also gone up. So right now, Bison hardly has any recoil whatsoever. It has gone up from 0.2 to 0.25, which isn't a lot, but it has gone up a little bit. UMP, or UMP. I love umping people. Walk speed has gone down, so that means you walk slower. It's gone down from 18 to 17, so you will now walk slower with UMP, which is kind of weird because it seems like it's a relatively light gun, but I guess not. RPM has gone down, so another nerf from 800 to 750, and aim spread has gone up from 0.008 to 0.01. So that's another nerf. So this is a full nerf. UMP is getting a full nerf because it's already a little bit OP. No changes to the mag size or the damage, just to walk speed, fire rate, and aim spread. If you see RPM, that means fire rate. AUG, or AUG, AUG. The RPM, or fire rate, has gone from 650 to 690. Hip spread, as in hip fire spread, got a slight buff from 0.025 to 0.023. Great, just as I get it freaking diamond, it gets buffed. AA12. Yeah, so there's no stats on the spread for comparison for the AA12, but the walk speed has gone down even further. Wow. You already walk pretty slow with the AA12, but it's gone down to 14 from 17. That's a hefty nerf. The reload animation has also gone down from 0.3 to 0.75. That's almost double the amount of time that it takes to reload the AA12. That is crazy. I mean, it's a big gun, so it makes sense. But that's a pretty big nerf for AA12, especially only having 96 damage. PKM. If it wasn't already OP, it definitely is OP now. Aim spread goes down from 0.02 to 0.015, so it's more accurate. Yeah, as if it wasn't already like super accurate already. Hip spread goes down from 0.04 to 0.035. So yeah, PKM, OP. Like it was already on my list of OP weapons on my tier list. PKM is now super OP. That I don't know when they're gonna nerf this thing, but they probably deserves a nerf at this point. M60. M60 gets somewhat of a buff. It gets somewhat of a nerf, mostly a buff. Mag capacity. So the mag capacity was 200 down to 100. I don't know if they changed it, but the reason they brought it up to 200 was because it fired 2 bullets at once. Similar to the G11 firing 3 bullets at once, the M60 was firing 2 bullets at once. So they had a mag capacity of 200. Now it's down to 100, so I don't know if it's going to be 50 shots or if it's going to be 100 single fires. I'm not sure. Walk speed has gone up, so you walk slightly faster now with M60, which is a buff, and the reload animation has gone down. So on an empty mag, it goes down from 3 to 1.65. That's almost half the amount of time that it takes to reload, which I love, because right now the reload animations for most of the LMGs are crazy slow. VSS finally gets its buff. I mean, the RPM has gone down, which is actually for me a buff, because the recoil is still kind of high. So I usually will fire it on semi-auto. So the RPM being nerfed down to 600 instead of 650, not that much of a nerf. The damage has gone up from 30 to 32. So headshots, let's see, that's 64. So that's a kill and 2 headshots, or a headshot and 2 body shots. So mag capacity has gone up from 10 to 15, which is really nice, really refreshing, because it just went through bullets so quickly. With the recoil, it wasted so many bullets. Reload animation, slight nerf from 0.3 down to 0.5. So slight nerf on how long it takes to reload. M82, the reload animation has gone down, so it's going to take longer for you to reload from 0.3 to 0.75. I don't have anything for reference. Recoil has gone up from 4 to 5, so it's now going to face more recoil, which is kind of good, because M82 is already OP. All of the other snipers are kind of not good, so the fact that the other snipers are getting a buff and the M82 is getting a nerf, really good. GOL is a full buff, so the damage has gone up from 63 to 70, and the RPM, the fire rate, has gone up to 80 from 63, which is really refreshing. So it's even more tactical than it was. That was something that was said in the Q&A. I think Scream said it. GOL is even more tactical than it was. Intervention. Finally, it won't take forever and a day for you to get a second shot off before you die. The fire rate has gone from 42 to 60, which is really nice. That, coupled with the fact that it was just buffed recently, the muzzle velocity or bullet speed has gone up. That's that's really refreshing. Intervention definitely going to be more aligned with how much it costs. It's probably at this point going to be an upgrade from Dragunov instead of a downgrade. AWP gets somewhat of a buff, more of a nerf. Fire rate has gone up from 60 to 72. The damage has gone down from 80 to 75. The mag size has gone down from 10 to 8. So you need to be really calculated with your shots in AWP. So I'm going to go back to GOL. So GOL damage was 70. AWP damage is now 72. No, sorry, is now 75. So AWP has slightly better damage than GOL, as it did, but even less so now. But in my opinion, GOL is still a better gun. AWP is more of a camping gun, GOL is more tactical. M1 Garand. M1 Garand has received a full nerf. So reload, but not that much. Okay, so reload takes longer. You have reload animation 1 and reload animation 2. I'm guessing also reload animation 3 and 4. 1, 3, and 4 is now plus 0.1, and reload animation 2 is now plus 0.3. I have no idea what that means. I'm guessing one of these is on an empty mag and one of these is on a full mag. I guess it has 4 reload animations now. I don't know. Recoil has gone up from 0.65 to 4. I don't know how that's a nerf. If the oh, okay. More like 0.065 to 0.4. So there's something weird happening with M1 Garand and its recoil, but basically the recoil has gone up from 0.065 to 0.4 or 0.65 to 0.4 or straight up to 4. This is the number that's in the code, but really it's more like 0.065 to 0.4. Something weird happened with GOL with the code, and they had to basically change the recoil to times 10. MP5 gets a nerf on damage, but gets a buff on fire rate and muzzle velocity or bullet speed. So damage has gone down from 20. You'll see 18 on MP5. The fire rate has gone up from 70 to 800. But with a 30 mag, that seems pretty standard, the balance of damage and RPM. The bullet speed has gone up from 450 to 650, so you don't have to lead your shots anymore with MP5, or as much with MP5. G3A4 gets a full nerf, which I don't really understand because G3A4 was like the replacement for VSS's nerf. G3A4, it's meant to be OP. I mean, it's a pretty expensive gun, but yet they're doing a full nerf. Luckily, it's not nerfed that much. The damage has gone down from 28 to 27. That's -1, and the fire rate has gone down from 650 to 625. So not that much of a nerf, but enough. I guess while they were doing balancing and gun testing, this kind of was above the par for what it needed to be, so they slightly nerfed it. Deagle, finally. Okay, Deagle finally gets a heavy nerf. It can still one-shot headshot. I don't know from any distance. We talked about that in the last update video. I don't know if they're going to be adding bullet drop or damage drop-off. The damage has gone down from 65 to 55. The recoil has gone up from 4 to 5. So it got a heavy nerf. That will make auto shoot a lot more difficult with the recoil. But the fire rate hasn't changed. So we'll see how that looks after the update on the 10th. So in 2 days. Right? Yes, today is the 8th. M1911. M1911 is mainly a buff. Damage has gone from 30 to 35. This is up from like 18. M1911 used to be crap. Absolute crap. And then they buffed the damage to 30. Nobody even really noticed. Same thing with Makarov. damage is now 35, so even more of a buff. Bullet speed has gone up from 350 to 400, and so you don't have to really lead shots that much. It'll be more accurate. RPM though, so it's gone down a little bit from 620 to 600, so you can't quite click as fast. Tech 9, full buff. RPM goes up from 650 to 700. Hip spread has gone up. Down. Hip spread has gone down, which is a buff, from 0.017 to 0.015, which is a slight buff. So your bullets won't be all over the place like with Uzi. 44 Magnum, definitely a buff. Hip spread. See, it shoots so slow anyway, I have no idea what it means by hip spread. Because it doesn't shoot more than one bullet at a time. It's not like an SMG. I guess, yeah, I have no idea what that means, but the hip spread is more? 0.016 to 0.1 is more, therefore it's a buff? I have no idea what that means. I guess we'll find out. And that brings us to the end. Let me know your thoughts, how you think the new guns are going to be, especially the ACR, the M1941 Johnson, and the 200 Magnum. And check out the links in the description for those two guns to find out. Not the 200 Magnum because I couldn't find a video, but the other two guns, there are the links in the description. You just have to watch the intro, and that kind of pretty much shows you how the gun fires and what it kind of looks like from all angles. But I think they look really cool, and I'm really excited for the update as always. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I will see you in the next video. If they come out with another update tomorrow, it has to be groundbreaking. If it's not groundbreaking, I'm not going to do a video on it. But if it is groundbreaking, I'll do a video, probably tomorrow evening, right before the update comes out on the 10th, and then I'm off until like 3 p.m. on the 10th, so I get to test out the update as soon as it drops. I can't wait. But anyway, have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.